Welcome.
Yes, sir. Sir, can I start or the record?
Yes, ma'am. You can start. It has already started, ma'am. Recording.
Yes. Thank you, sir. Yes, students, can everyone see the screen? Am I audible?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay.
Yes, ma'am.
Good afternoon, students. Welcome, students, to the pre-placement training on basics of accounting. If you students have opted for specialization in finance and desiring to join any company or organization with the interest in finance or accounting department, then before the entry into any company, you'll need to build a very strong financial base and have a very powerful accounting knowledge. Because as you all know that in the practical world, it is only the survival of the fittest, where your practical knowledge will be judged, and based on that, you will be placed in any company. So to crack any interviews, as you all know, there are different rounds like GD, HR, there is technical round, etc. So today I will be taking you all through the basics of accounting so that it will be easy for you all to crack any interview. That is, I'm talking about the technical round relating to finance or accounting. So we always feel that cracking the technical round is a tough one or a challenging one, but it's the most easy if you have a strong knowledge in the area of your interest. So since you are all have taken finance specialization, considering that your area of interest is accounting or finance, you need to build a strong base. And many a times it's very tough for us to even answer a simple basic accounting question in front of the interviewer. What is the reason for that? It can be either your fear or lack of confidence, or maybe in the school or college days you all have mugged up things. So if you all have mugged up things, it becomes very tough for you all, even though you all know the answer. In order to present it in front of the interviewer, you will hesitate. So in my sessions, make it a point to understand the accounting basics rather than just mugging it up, because a concept, if it is well understood by all, will be a concept well answered in front of the interviewer. So now you'll have to start understanding the things logically. You'll need to forget mugging up things. You'll need to understand what is accounting and how it flows. So in the multiple sessions, whatever I'll be covering, in that, I will brief you all with the basics of accounting. And by the end of our sessions, I will take you all through all the questions that are most likely asked in the interview relating to finance or accounting. So you all have gone through the basics of accounting because you all are in the final semester, you are in the final year, so you'll already know the basics of accounting. But let me just brush it up for you all so that it becomes easy for you all to know whether you all have understood the concept or mugged it up. So throughout the training on basics of accounting, we will be covering what is the meaning of accounting, basic accounting concepts, basic terms in accounting, basis for recording the transactions, basic books for accounting, concept relating to depreciation, and different questions relating to accounting or finance that can be asked in the interview. Because students, in the interview relating to finance or accounting, very simple questions are asked, and most of the candidates fail to answer those simple questions. So let us start understanding the simple terms in accounting, which will help you crack the interview. So what is the meaning of accounting? If a simple interviewer asks you all, what is accounting? So you all need to understand what is the meaning of accounting. So accounting is nothing but it is the art or process of identifying, recording, classifying, summarizing, analyzing, interpreting, communicating the transactions of business. Now this becomes a definition of accounting, or this becomes a simple bookish knowledge of accounting. But in reality, if I ask you what is the meaning of identifying, can anyone answer what do you mean by identifying? what do you mean by recording, what do you mean by classifying, summarizing, and so on, then you should be in a position to answer these questions. So when I say that it is an art or process of identifying, first your accounting always starts with identification. And if the interviewer asks you why does it start with identification? Because it is very important to identify the transactions, because we know transactions are business transactions, transactions are personal transactions. Will you consider personal transactions in your accounting of a business? You will not consider. So we need to identify first those transactions which are purely relating to the business and which needs to be next. What is the step which needs to be recorded in your accounting? So first identification. After identifying those transactions which needs to be taken in your books, then only you're going to record it. Now, what do you mean by recording? See, students, all these terms you all are aware, but what does it actually stand for? Why it is given in this exact sequence is very important that you all understand. So first identification, then recording. What do you mean by recording? Recording is nothing but just the transactions that have been identified. You're just going to write it in a particular book, and the first book of accounting is journal. So this recording is nothing but it is a basic function of accounting where all the business transaction which are of financial character. So in identification, we have identified the business transaction which are of financial character. Those transactions you're going to record. Record is nothing but you're going to write it, okay, in a book. And the first book where you're going to record it is a journal. So the interviewer may ask you, what is the first book in which the accounting transactions are recorded? So you can tell it that it is a journal. And later, journal is divided into several subsidiary books. As we know, there is ledgers, there is different heads of books. Okay. Once you have written down the transactions in journal, next is to classify them. Now, what is the meaning of classification? Classification is you're going to group the transactions, okay, based on the nature. So it is not that all the transactions are going to come under a particular head. Grouping of transactions is required. Okay. So based on the grouping, you are going to classify it and put it in the respective ledger. So in recording, you are going to record A to Z all the transactions without classifying it. And once you have recorded the transactions, you're just going to classify. Classifies, you're going to do a systematic analysis of the recorded transactions. Okay, why? Because you have to group them in the respective nature. Like all expenses under one head you're going to record, all incomes under one head you're going to record, so that there is a proper classification or grouping of the transactions. Next is summarizing. Now, why is summarizing after classification? Because once you have grouped the transactions, like what is falling under incomes, what is falling under your expenditures, what is falling under your bank transactions, once you have classified it, grouped it, then you have to give a summary of it. And summarizing is nothing but it is concerned with the preparation and presentation of the classified data, okay, in the form of a financial statement. So when we know that in accounting, when accounting starts, it ends up with the preparation of financial statements. And financial statements is purely your P&L account, your balance sheet. Now in P&L account and balance sheet, you just have a summary of all your incomes, expenditures. Do you have a detailed view of each and every expense? No, that is already done in your classification. So in a summarization, suppose if you have advertisement expense, you will have directly the amount of expense incurred during the year. So it is a summary. So in summarizing, what happens is all your classified data will be summarized. That is a nutshell of all The financial information will be presented in the form of financial statements. Okay. And this summarizing will lead to your trial balance, profit and loss account, balance sheet, and your cash flow statement, where in a nutshell, you will come to know the position of the organization or the company. Next is analyzing. Now, what do you mean by analyzing? Once our financial statements are prepared, a summary of all the financial transactions are prepared, we need to analyze it. Now, why is analysis important, students? It is nothing but helping and going through the financial statements, okay, and seeing what is the exact position of the company. So it is just to establish a relationship between the profit and loss account and balance sheet, and it provides the basis for interpreting. Once you have analyzed the different, why is a particular expense high or the income on the lower side, for example. So this all takes place in the analysis, where the figures given in the financial statements will help only if it is in the simplified form and only if you have analyzed it properly. Next is interpretation. So this is the final function of accounting, interpretation. What do you mean by interpretation? So it is concerned with explaining what is the significance of the analyzed data. So how do you interpret that data that has been analyzed? So if you analyzed if a particular expense is on a higher side, in interpretation, you will try to interpret why, what is the reason for the increase in a particular expense. Next, communication is whatever financial data you have prepared, whatever analysis and interpretation you have made. Based on that, you are going to communicate it to your internal and external users of accounting. Internal is the company itself, the management, and external will be your stakeholders, your creditors, your bankers, because without these, a company usually doesn't run. So this is the meaning of accounting in detail. But students, let me tell you all, you all should know the sequence, not by mugging up, but by understanding what actually accounting is. So I hope you'll have understood what is the meaning of accounting. This is very simple question that can be asked in your interview. So instead of mugging up, it starts with identifying, and then you all get confused and say recording, classifying, and then directly jump to interpreting. Know the sequence, understand why it is put in this sequence, and then you all can answer it with confidence. Next. Many a times in the interview, very basic accounting concepts are being asked, because any organization student works on the concepts of accounting. They start recording their transactions based on the concepts, and if they want any candidate, they will make sure that the particular candidate is well versed with the concepts of accounting. Now, what do you mean by accounting concepts? If they ask you what are the different types of concepts in accounting, or what is the meaning of accounting concepts, is it necessary to have these concepts to start accounting, to begin with the accounting? Then yes, students, you'll have to tell that accounting concepts are nothing but they define the assumptions based on which the financial statements of a business entity are prepared. So if there were no accounting concepts, we couldn't have prepared the financial statements. Accounting concepts are the basic assumption based on which the financial statements are being prepared. So they are very, very important. So in your interview, you may also be asked that, can you all explain any 4 accounting concepts, or are concepts necessary? Then your answer should be yes. So these are the different basic accounting concepts. Either they can ask you a individual concept to be explained, or they can ask you all what are the different types of accounting concepts that are usually followed in accounting. If your job profile is into the accounting department, then it is very important for you all to know these concepts, because without these the knowledge of these concepts, you cannot prepare your financial statements. So the first is business entity concept. So what do you mean by business entity concept? Students, the first concept is business entity concept, which means that entity is a different person and the business owner is a different person. See, if you all are trying to enter into a sole proprietary business, okay, into the accounts department, so you all got to know that the owner is a separate entity and the business is a separate entity. So entity concept states that the business enterprise is a separate identity and the owner has a separate identity. So the accountant, you all are going to become the accountant. Then the accountant, you all should treat the business as distinct from its owner. Business transactions are recorded in business books of accounts and owner's transactions are recorded in his personal books of accounts. So as accountant, suppose if you are joined a company as an accountant, you cannot take the owner's personal transactions into the books of accounts. So you all got to first understand this concept that if I become an accountant, I'm always going to treat the entity as a separate identity, the owner as a separate identity. Entities transactions I will record in the books of accounts. Owner's transaction I will record in his personal books, which I will not record because the accountant is not required to see the personal transactions of the organization, of the owner. Next, going to is money measurement concept. So they can ask you, what do you mean by money measurement concept? So as per this concept, like the name itself suggests that all those transactions only has to be recorded which can be measured in terms of money. Okay, if you cannot measure any transaction in terms of money, you cannot record it. It doesn't form part of accounting. Okay, that is the reason this concept is very important. So when you become an accountant, make sure that only those transactions which can be recorded or measured in terms of money, then only you need to take those transactions in the books of accounts. For example, employees of the organization are, no doubt we say employees are the assets of the organization. But is it possible to measure them in the monetary terms? No. So therefore, we cannot record the employees of the organization in the books of accounts. Is it clear? Though we say the employees are the assets of the company, you may be asked a question, employees being assets of the company, where are they recorded? In the books of accounts. So your simple answer will be, according to the accounting concept, that is money measurement concept, since employees cannot be measured in terms of money, therefore they cannot be recorded in the books of accounts. Next, going concern concept. Now, going concern concept simply means that as an accountant, you have to assume that the books of accounts, whatever you all are preparing, with an intention, with an assumption that the enterprise will continue its operation for a foreseeable future. You cannot prepare accounts for 1 year and then it is done. You have to always be with an assumption that this entity or organization will keep on going, this concern will keep on going and continuing its operation for foreseeable future. So hence it is assumed that the enterprise has neither the intention nor the need to liquidate. So you cannot join as an accountant saying that now this company will close down. You have to have that assumption in you that yes, I'm going to prepare the books of accounts with an intention that the company will, or the organization will continue its operations for future. Next, accounting period. Now, what do you mean by accounting period? This is nothing but again periodicity. Accounting period, as we know, is different than your calendar period. accounting period usually starts from your 1st April of a particular year and ends up to 31st March of the succeeding year, which is also a part of your financial period. So usually some companies, they prepare their accounts, their accounting period and the financial period is different. But usually the accounting period followed by the companies are from 1st April to 31st March of the succeeding year. So based on the period, only the transactions falling in that particular period only has to be recorded in the books. You cannot consider the transactions relating to a different period and club it in the particular year. So you have to be very careful while applying this particular concept, that this concept clearly states that only the transactions relating to the particular accounting period has to be recorded in that particular year. Next is periodicity concept. Now, this is same like the accounting period concept. This is similar to the accounting period concept, which says that every business entity has to record their transactions of a particular period in that year itself, because it causes inconvenience for the business entity to measure the performance achieved. Whatever performance is achieved in a particular year, if you're clubbing all the year's transaction in a particular year, the company may not be able to identify the performance that it is achieved. So according to this periodicity concept, all the accounts should be prepared after every period, and not only at the end of the life of the entity. Suppose the entity is planning to shut down in the next year, you're not just going to record the transactions at the end of the life of the entity, but you're going to record it year after year in order to measure the performance of the company. And as we know that the periodicity according to the accounting period starts from 1st April and ends on 31st March of the immediately following year. Next is the cost concept. Now, if someone asks you what is the meaning of cost concept, then in simple words, you need to know that whatever assets the company is having, it should always be recorded at its historical cost. Now, what do you mean by historical cost? Is your acquisition cost. So at what cost you have acquired the asset, at that cost you're required to record the transaction irrespective of whatever is the market value. Next is dual aspect concept. Now, dual aspect concept means this concept is the core of your double entry system of bookkeeping, because every transaction we know in accounting has two effects or two aspects. If there is an increase in one asset, there is going to be a decrease in another asset. If there is going to be an increase in an asset, there is going to be an increase in a liability. So we know that whenever we are recording, there is a dual impact or there is a dual aspect. And if there is an increase in one liability, there is going to be increase in an asset. Decrease in a liability will have an increase in another liability. So there is going to be a two effect in the accounting system of bookkeeping that we follow. Next is revenue recognition. So when you're following the dual concept, why is this concept important? Because when you're recording, you'll have to make sure that it is having two effects, not a single effect. So this concept has to be applied while accounting. Next is revenue recognition concept or realization concept that we say. So what does this is very similar to the cost concept. What does this concept say is that any change in the value of an asset is to be recorded only when the business realizes it. That means if the historical cost, that is the acquisition cost of an asset, suppose if you have acquired it at 5 lakh and the current value of it is 15 lakh. So you're not going to realize, unless and until you realize that 10 lakhs, you're not going to record it in the books of accounts. Though the market value has increased to 15 lakhs, still in your books, you will apply the cost concept and show it at 5 lakhs. So this concept says that you have to realized value has to be returned in the books of accounts only when it materializes, only when the business actually realizes it. Next is matching concept. Matching concept says that all the expenses what you're recording, it should be matched with the revenue. In which period? In your accounting period, okay, only should be taken into consideration. Because in the financial statements of any organization, if any revenue is recognized, then expenses related to earn that revenue should also be recognized. When I say recognized, it means it should be recorded. So you cannot, whatever expenses you are incurring to earn the revenue, there has to be a matching of that. So only those matched expenses and incomes needs to be recorded in the particular accounting period. Next is full disclosure concept. According to this concept is very important. All these concepts needs to be applied, student. As an accountant, you need to apply all these concepts. So full disclosure concept means that all the facts, information has to be completely disclosed. You cannot keep any fact hidden. Okay, all the financial information needs to have a complete disclosures either in your financial statements or having an annexure to it. All the financial data, information, assumptions should be disclosed. Disclosed means it should be written down and nothing should be hidden. Consistency concept. Now, what do you mean by consistency concept? Consistency means if you want to achieve the comparability of your financial statements, okay, so if you want to compare the financial statements of an enterprise throughout different time, so whatever accounting policies that you are going to follow, it should be same period by period. I just give you all an example. Suppose if you're following straight line method of depreciation, and if you want to compare depreciation of one period with another, then you need to follow straight line method only for comparison. You cannot use straight line for first period and then for the second period you cannot use WDV. So there has to be consistency in all your application of accounting policies. Okay, you need to follow the same year by year, and only in exceptional circumstances you are allowed to change, but you need to follow consistency so that you can compare the financial statements of a particular enterprise during different accounting periods. Next is conservatism concept. Now, what is this prudence? Now, conservatism means what? The accountant should always make the provision for all the possible losses. He should keep in his accounting, or he should record in his accounting all the possible losses, though the loss is likely to come and not yet come, but he should never anticipate for income. That means he should be prudent enough to make provision for all the losses but not for the incomes. Next, materiality concept. Now, materiality means the accountant should record only those transactions which are material. Now, again, materiality for company to company may differ. For some companies, if a particular transaction is material, for other company it may not be material. So, materiality concept, okay, should give effect to only those transactions which are of importance and which are of material. So all the items having significant economic impact on the business or the enterprise should be disclosed in the financial statements, and insignificant items which will not impact the business should not be shown in the financial statements. Okay, and the work of the accountant will increase because he has to analyze what are the material facts and what are not the material facts. So these are the different accounting concepts, and these concepts are the base based on which an accountant is going to prepare the books of accounts, and these accounting concepts are the base based on which the financial statements can be prepared. If any one of these concepts is not used or is used in a different manner, your accounting may end up going wrong. So students, I hope you will have understood what is the meaning of accounting, what is the basic concepts of accounting. Now, I don't want you all to mug up this, okay? But understand, suppose if someone asks you, the interviewer asks you, what is going concern concept? You should be quick enough to answer what is going concern concept, because based on the whatever explanation I'm given, I hope you'll have understood the meaning and understand logically and then answer. Because already in my I have already told that whatever concept you all have understood well, you will be able to explain it well. But concept that you all have mugged up, trust me, students, front of interviewer, first of all, you all will be having fear, lack of confidence. You all may not be able to answer, though you all have mugged it up, you all know it, but you may not be able to answer. So what is required is having a thorough understanding of the concepts. Don't mug it up, tell it in your own words, because basically in finance they just ask simple basic concepts, simple basic terms, which most of the candidates fail to answer. So we have an half an hour session today, so we have completed the period, the time limit. So this basic terms in accounting we will be covering in our next session on basic concepts of accounting. Thank you so much, students.
Thank you very much, ma'am.
Ravi sir?
Yes, ma'am. Am I audible?
Yeah. Yes, sir.